Hello and welcome back, guys. You are gaming with me, Brothgar, and today I've got some more Planet Coaster for you. Now, if you watched the last episode, I built this giant flying roller coaster over here, and this thing was absolutely awesome. However, I built something even bigger and even better. So as we can see, this giant roller coaster in the background here is enormous. It goes all the way up to the top of the map and then drops straight down. That's because Chris Hand Gaming recommended that I do something just like that with a dangling feet roller coaster. I thought of making a feet dangler roller coaster that goes to the highest point and dives straight down. I said it'll knock your shoes off, and we had some fun with that. And yeah, that is exactly what's gone over here. This is a giant feet dangler roller coaster, and you know what? Let's just go ahead and take a quick look at this. Right off the bat, we're gonna go up a giant lift right here, and this thing spins all the way up the lift, and that looks really, really cool when you start dropping right back down it. So as you drop back down, you're gonna do a full spiral as well, diving straight down, and then you go into a giant curve here, and then just go into some of the largest loops I have ever made in this game. Oh, actually, the largest loops I've ever made in this game. This entire roller coaster has been a real exercise in just building things at the extreme of how big I can build things. And a couple of the areas where things got really interesting, or really difficult, I should say, I would say right here is one of those spots. And what this is I tried to make a corkscrew, or so I would say, you know how it normally kind of go over and then spin back around, but I wanted to do a corkscrew and then dive out of it in a large arc right there. However, once you get to the roller coaster straight up, you have to kind of do some things where you lean it over and then rotate it around in order for the track to actually form that way. A lot of this also has a lot of smoothing. You'll see in a couple of the, as we actually are riding on this roller coaster, that it kind of will increment its movements by about 11 degrees. I used 11 degrees snap throughout this roller coaster. Even though I smoothed it as much as I could, you will see a little bit of those jitter moves here and there. But that's just how it takes, you know, what I had to do to actually make it. So that was probably one of the more difficult spots right here, but I don't know. One of the coolest spots, I think, is actually once we dive straight down into this cave. We'll do a full spin right on down there. Enough of that, let's go ahead and just give it a ride, shall we? Alright, so first and foremost, this lift was actually a square when I made it. You'll see this when I give you the time lapse of it. However, smoothing it enough times actually shrinks the square into more of a circle, but you do see those few hesitations right there where it's kind of moving around and altering. I'm going to turn my face off here just so you guys can get a better view of that. You don't need to see my face for this. So what's going on here, though, is I put the lift here at the maximum speed because obviously it's a very, very large high lift, and I thought it was a little bit more interesting to spin up rather than just go straight up. I have a couple of brakes, so you resist, and then you get a nice look. Look at this. This is ridiculous. I love this. This came out 10 times better than I thought it was going to be. We hit probably well over 100 miles an hour, and now we're into this huge turning arc right now. This thing's pulling so many G's. It'll be interesting once we get the stats here in the next element of the game. Down into a cave, and then we're going to curve around the cliffs here. Love this, baby. Woo! Oh, this is my favorite roller coaster to ride. You can see a little bit of those increments right there as we're spinning straight on up. We're going to do another inversion right over here into an S drop, which is what I'm going to call this. I'll probably do a tutorial on this move here at some point. A little bit off center, has to do with smoothing. And that right there is a little bit of a glitch where it kind of altered right there just with the smoothing program. But this is the best part. I was listening to you guys. Yeah, what is up, man? I totally read your comment right there. Gotta spin every time you go into a tunnel. This loop right here is a full loop. I really worked hard to kind of figure out how to make these loops a little bit better. Then you have a consistent loop. So one is more of a teardrop and the other is consistent through a cave. Woo, baby. Into a braking zone that does you no good at all. Into the only pre-generated turns right now. And we're going to have two of these, and this is going to take us right back to the center stage right there. Or the station. I love this roller coaster. I've ridden it probably 25 times, at least. It's my favorite ride to ride in the park, even with some of the roller coasters that I've yet to show you. Anyhow, now that we have seen the ride, let me go ahead and show you the time lapse of me building it. Forget this
day. I'll never forget this day. I'm gonna throw my memories away. Now I feel I'm done, and I am cursed by every day till my time is gone. I've never felt this way before, and now I know this all for sure. I won't forget your last betray. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day. I'll never forget this day.
So there you have it. That's how I built it right there. It took a couple of hours to actually complete the entire thing, but you know what? It was totally worth it in my opinion. Let me go ahead and read a couple of your comments here, and we will also give you a view of the roller coaster from some different perspectives while this is going on. Cutie Pie's channel asks a very good question. It says, how often do you respawn, Brothgar? And you know what? I do respond, but not all that often in the comments down there, but mostly because I include comments in the videos, so I do a lot of my responses in the videos as opposed to just typing them. I feel like that works better for me, and I feel like it includes you guys in the videos. So if you don't see me responding as much, it's probably because it's part of a series where I actually talk and include your comments in the video. D's nuts! Guess what came in the mail today? Me. Gotcha. Thanks for being here, Extreme Gamer. Second's not bad. Does Planet Coaster have a copy and paste feature, asks Lewis. If so, make Alien Invader Fleet, referring to the spaceship I tried to create last time right here. And it does. It has a copy and paste for buildings. It does. So that could definitely happen. However, it would probably crash my graphics card and I wouldn't be able to handle it. Maybe one day when I get my GTX 1070, whenever I can find a good deal on that, maybe bundled with a game or something like that, then I'll do something like that. Right now, it would just cause too many problems. Lucas says, nice additions to the park. I was thinking in my spare time, I wondered if you could make a roller coaster that goes underneath the terrain itself. Obviously, you would have to add a layer underneath, but I think it would pay off and make the park look even cooler. Now, I did do the one that was a full kind of underground cave sort of thing, but I think what you're saying here is actually make a roller coaster that's underground, but it's actually not necessarily underground, or it follows the terrain. I like the idea of it. It's an interesting idea. So thanks for that recommendation. Eli Stone says, great park, Brothgar. I think you were also the one talking about doing spins down there in the caves as well. So, see, I was reading your stuff. Needs some work in the back, though. I know I'm working on it. I'll show you some other stuff here in just a second. It's really empty. Add a roller coaster that goes into and out of the cliff's side in the back, all the way from the top to the bottom, baby. Yeah! You're going to have to see what I came up with. It doesn't necessarily match your recommendation, but it's pretty close. Toxic Clan YT says, Brothgar, you are the best YouTuber ever. Stay awesome. Thanks so much, man. And you stay awesome as well. Good luck there on YouTube as well. Nicholas Cage Gaming says, the spaceship looks pretty cool, but it looks a lot more like a house than what a person thinks about a spaceship. That's unfortunately just because the building blocks for buildings are blocks. So they end up looking like a house. It would have to be a lot bigger for me to do anything that looks a little bit different, I should say. I could try, but at the current moment, I think that's about as good as it's going to get for about an hour's worth of work. Still, you did a nice job and it looks pretty neat. No problem. Sorry it took me so long to get this next video out. Last week was a real hectic time, and also getting invited to the whole Crusaders of the Lost Idols thing really kind of threw a jam in my schedule. But I had 4 or 5 days where I was packed, book to book. 12-hour work days, or come home, fall asleep, get back, and go to work sort of deals. I basically had no time. So, life happens. Elliot asks, would you consider making a park more realistic style? Not that what you're doing is bad, I love it anyway. Okay, so what I'm doing here with this park is the extremes. I like the extremes. I like building roller coasters that are bigger than life. That's kind of my flavor. I could try to do the more realistic stuff, but I'm definitely not as good as some of the other YouTubers that specialize in that stuff. So I don't really want to be known for making, realistic roller coasters or parks or something like that, because that's really not my flavor. But at the same time, if I was going to do it, it's going to be in another park, in another video, maybe another series at some point. But a couple of the ideas that I'm going to have for this game and series as it's developing here, it's going to end up on Steam, which is probably going to mean Steam Workshop, and also different blueprints and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to do a couple different series ideas. One of them is 30-minute builds, so what I can do in like 30 to 45 minutes for roller coasters to actually make blueprints that you guys could then use in your park. Also, the other another thought here is going to be featuring your roller coasters that you guys submit, and then reading through them and watching them and playing with them in the game. And then one is going to be just a series of the game of me building my own park like I'm doing right here. So I'm thinking those 3 different flavors is what I'm going to try to do each week. 1 video per week or so like that. Or one of those styles per week. That's my bigger plan for Planet Coaster. We'll see how much of that I can achieve. Cooper Bow! Dude, do a reading comments, and hopefully we will read this comment. I read comments in like just about every video, dude. And I did, man. Thanks for commenting, Koopa. Lem says, I don't understand why this is so unpopular. These roller coasters are sick. Well, first and foremost, this game here is not even in open beta. It's still in closed beta, so it's relatively unknown in the grand scheme of things. Also, I don't have a Twitter, so I'm just going to recommend the name Floating the Island one. Lightning Raw Guy. Took it from Dollywood. One last thing, you've been pronouncing quadrillion wrong. Really? I've been doing that the entire time. I kind of do it on purpose, though. Thanks so much, Lem. Once I can actually name these roller coasters, I'll actually start taking the whole naming thing seriously. I have a feeling, though, that once this goes into open beta, I might not be able to actually play the saved game right here at all. But thanks for naming that roller coaster. If I do get the opportunity to name it, I will change the name of that. Let's see if I can pronounce your name right here. Blothair, the one and only. Nice content. Thanks, man. Good name. Sorry, dude, I'm probably going to pronounce your name wrong here, but Vishniflaw, you are professional at building. Mind giving the viewer a few tips? What I'm trying to do is actually get a mathematical or understanding of some sort, or like a procedural understanding of some of these turns and stuff that I'm working on here, so that I can actually make tutorial videos at some point right here. I want to be able to write down the instructions or be able to present the ideas for different turns and different tips and styles of roller coasters once I get there. I've built about 10 roller coasters in the game, and I'm at the point where now I can just build roller coasters without really having to think. So I'm getting a lot closer to being at that level to where I can then train people. But I needed to build just about one of every roller coaster, both big and small, and some of the different things that you can do there before I actually start giving tips. But yeah, at some point I'll actually do that. And for the last comment here, the brawny Brothgar, do you play mobile games? I play like a few. Clash Royale is about it. I would like to see a few mobile games. Well, I do and I don't. I don't really cover them all that much, just because I don't play a lot of them. At any rate, thanks for commenting, guys. If you have some sort of recommendation for another roller coaster, go ahead and leave it in the comment section there, and I'll see if I can get to it in one of the preceding episodes that comes after this. So let me give you my closing thoughts here of this roller coaster. This, like I've said many times already, is my favorite roller coaster to ride. I think it has it all to do with the speed and also some of the technical achievements that I've been able to achieve with this roller coaster. Like this turn right here. This was well planned out, going at the full length using the 11-degree snap. I would go 1 tick up each time until I got to the top here, when I would do 3 ticks. And then just going unsnapped just to turn it just a little bit near the bottom here so that it actually wraps around very tight. So different things like this really help me feel like I'm a lot more confident as far as building roller coasters. I felt like I learned a lot when I actually built this roller coaster, more than any other roller coaster I've done before. I started to really feel confident in this one. So this is also a consistent turn right there, so that should be the same G-force as you move through it. Well, you're decelerating, so it should drop a little bit, but I don't know. I like the way this roller coaster came out. I like the fact that you dive through some of these caves. And like I said before, it is my favorite roller coaster to ride. However, it's not my only new roller coaster. So there's a couple others that I'll be sharing with you in the near future here. This one right here, this yellow one, I worked on just trying to find different patterns right here. So we see a lot of these corkscrews and then being able to throw loops inside of them. I like to be able to find more of these patterns and try to exploit them as much as I can to build really nice roller coasters in a small amount of space, which was right here just on this little sort of land bridge right there. That was pretty cool. Also, this red roller coaster you're seeing right here is a giant roller coaster that I'll be sharing you probably the video after the next one. And this one is a tour coaster. So this coaster goes throughout the entire map just to explore some of the elements of each roller coaster throughout the entire map. So it visits each roller coaster, you'll see them, and I also try to take it through the same path of like the highlights of each of those roller coasters. I think it's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to sharing with you that one right there, just because I feel like it's a highlights of everything that I've done thus far. But that's all I have for you guys today. So I'll see you guys next time, guys. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out. Okay, here we go. Come on! Yeah! Woo! Woo! I totally got him! Come on, baby, go, 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 go. Do it! Do it! Do it! Oh yeah! Get some of that! Get some of that! Mmm! That was building a roller coaster on a floating island right there. Pretty cool idea. Fun stuff. I enjoyed it. 1 million. There we go. Now we're talking. That's the sound of money if I ever heard it. Woo! It's kind of got a weird ring to it. I'm liking it so far.